Hello, babies. So I had a message from a family friend to please cover this case. When I tell you the disappearance of Samantha Jones Sperry has left me unsettled, it has left me unsettled. I have been down a few rabbit holes on this case, and it seems like Graves, Kentucky got a little more crazier stuff going on than our little part of the world over here, and I thought we were bad. There is a guy this video I came across on Jace. Let's see, it's JTC Game on YouTube, who done, he's got a whole video over there if you'd like to go over to YouTube and check it out on, his conspiracy theory that she was kidnapped and that it was by a guy named Hunter Mills. Let me just say, all this is alleged and for entertainment purposes only, again, okay? But the story of the underground bunker that they found with the man that was, had this tunnel that you could go in through and come out on the other side that had rooms is mind-blowing to me, and that he was manufacturing methamphetamines underneath there, and that he'd been missing for a while. I guess he'd been wanted by the police. His kind of theory in a nutshell is that maybe they kidnapped her and that somebody there did away with her. I don't know. I'm only going to tell you some of the things that I got that's facts from news articles and from other things that I have read. But this has been 5 years that Samantha Sperry has been missing, and I know that her family would love to have some answers. My heart goes out to you guys, and I'm so sorry for this tragic event that has happened to you guys in your life. And I pray that God shines light down and lets you guys get some answers and lay that baby to rest. Sperry, who was last seen in Graves, Kentucky on March the 28th of 2018, she was with her boyfriend, Ren Lee Hendrickson. They got into a small verbal altercation on the 4200 block of Tim Road. Hendrickson decided to take Sperry's car back to her home to spend the night. And Sperry left with his father, which is the boyfriend's father, Dusty Holder, on a four-wheeler. Photos of Hendrick and Holder you can find on the collage picture with her. There's a lot of these details that were told to the police So Holder would later on say that he and Sperry got lost after their four-wheeler got stuck in the mud and they ran out of gas. Now, I cannot make sense that this young lady would get on a four-wheeler and go out into the middle of the woods with this man's father and her having her own car. I'm sorry, but that doesn't make sense to me. He claims that they spent the night in the woods and that they began walking out the next morning. According to Holder, the two of them came out of the woods at Kaler Bottoms by the bridge near Highway 131 and 849. They were cold, wet, and tired, and he suggested that they walk to the Kaler Mark, and that's where she was last seen walking towards Highway 849. That she never showed up for her job at 9 p.m., which was her shift, and has not ever been seen or heard from again. That evening, after Holder told Hendrickson, which is the dad telling the son, what happened, Hendrickson then called his mother and told her that he took a bunch of pills and was going off in the woods to die. Something about that doesn't sit right with me either. The next morning, police launched an all-out search for the boyfriend and for Samantha Sperry. Her car was then found abandoned at the intersection of Highway 131 at Dooms Chapel Road, south of Symsonia, Kentucky. That if he was taking the car to go back home and she left on the four-wheeler with the dad, why was the car found abandoned by the highway? Authorities found Holder's four-wheeler upon the search, and there was only one set of footprints. And this is where it gets interesting to me. There were only the one set of footprints around it, and then only one set of footprints leading out of the woods. Investigators would also find 2 cellular phones that also belonged to Holder in a small fire of ashes, okay? They stated that the evidence at the scene did not match Holder's story, and there were no sign of Sperry ever being in that vicinity. That alone is a red flag. Hendrickson would resurface on April the 1st when he went to Holder's house, dehydrated and hypothermic. He would have asked him for assistance. He was taken to the hospital for treatment, and in his account to the police, he stated that he had taken items belonging to Sperry, Samantha Sperry, and himself, and took them into the woods and lost them. Now, let me mind you that those items have never been recovered, okay? Another red flag. Both Holder and Hendrickson were questioned multiple times about Sperry's disappearance. Both men also passed a polygraph test. He called later to say you and I both know, with the right medication, anybody could pass a polygraph test. But Sperry's sister doesn't believe that she got lost in the woods prior to her disappearance. She has stated that she lived in the area her whole life. She knew the area very well, that she just was too familiar with the area to have been lost like that. Now, police later would find blood in Sperry's home and in her vehicle that was sent to the lab for analysis. I have done a lot of research to see if they've ever found anything like to bring up about the blood that was found. I haven't found anything that I've covered. If you guys have any and you want to share it, and if I say anything that's wrong, please correct me, because I do not want to say anything wrong in this case. She was also separated. It said this numerous times. I read this, that she was separated from her husband at the time of her disappearance, whom she also shared joint custody of her children with. But the family does believe that she was a victim of foul play. The circumstances of her disappearance are still unclear, and her case does still remain unsolved. I will also link a number to the FBI agency that was called in, and some other agencies, to take a fresh look at the case. And I'll also upload or add in an email address for tips. If you have any information at all, I don't care if it's something small that you think may not be nothing. It could very well be something. Okay? Now, with saying that and saying what some of the videos I saw on YouTube, some of the stuff doesn't make sense, but like, I'm a conspiracy theorist too. And, you know, if the METH stuff was involved, and then you go to the guy that they were on the hunt for, that they found that had the bunker underground, I could see a connection being made there. But again, that's just alleged, and that's just my thoughts from what I've seen. But I'm asking you guys, anybody that does true crime who has a bigger account than I have, please share this lady's disappearance case. Let's help get this family some justice. And I am very aware of the good old boy system and how these backwards hillbilly people work. You know, a murder can be committed and 100 people know about it, but everybody gets tight-lipped for some reason. But yet, when it's somebody sleeping with somebody's husband, they are so quick to run and tell it.